Tangled Hearts, Part 1. You had always thought UA would be about heroic hard work, not confusing feelings. Yet, here you were, walking side by side with Izuku Midoriya and down a lined tree path. After training, your heart thudding like it was trying to escape your chest. He was animatedly talking about some combat strategy, something about redirecting momentum, and you were trying very hard to focus on his words and not how his eyes were glimmering. They seemed to sparkle when he was passionate about something. So, if Ida moves like this, then boom. Are you okay, Ryan? He asked. You blinked. Huh? Oh, yeah, totally. I'm just listening. Midoriya gave a soft chuckle, cheeks dusted pink. You look like your brain lagged for Kaminari after a big shock. I did not, you said, grinning despite yourself. But inside you were panicking. You liked Midoriya. A lot. Like, you couldn't even explain it, and it felt like just maybe he liked you too. Too bad you weren't the only one who thought so. Later in the evening, you found yourself at the usual study session in the common room. Uraka sat next to you, flipping through her notebook while Sue hummed softly beside her. Ida paced with his textbook in hand, reciting facts out loud to no one in particular, while Todoroki silently crawled answers into his worksheet. The peaceful rhythm was comforting, until Uraka nudged you. Hey, Ryan, she whispered. Can I ask you something kind of personal? You turned to her curious. Sure, what's up? She twisted a lock of her hair nervously. Do you think Deku likes anyone right now? Your stomach dropped. Why do you ask? She blushed. No reason, just, I've been wondering. He's been spending a lot of time with you lately, and I know you're close, so before you could shut the answer out, Ada slammed his textbook shut. May I remind you that this is a study session, not a gossip corner, he said, wagging a finger. That said, I, too, have noticed Midoriya acting differently around YN. Ribbit. He blushes whenever you're near, Sue added plainly. You wish you could just sink into the couch and disappear at that moment. Guys, come on, you muttered, face heating. This isn't about Midoriya. We're friends. You sure? Todoroki said quietly from the couch. He wasn't even looking up, but somehow he felt like he could see right through you. You bit your lip. I think so. Then he looked up at you. You met his gaze. His heterochromic eyes were unreadable. He's not the only one that likes you, he stated. Silence. Wait, what? You said after a moment. Shoto! You heard Uraka hiss, slapping his arm. You can't just say that, she seemed to whisper at him. He didn't flinch. Why not? It's true, he mutters. You opened your mouth to ask more, but Midoriya returned at that moment with a tray of tea and snacks, completely unaware he just interrupted the most emotionally loaded conversation of your life. I figure I'll ask you a break, he said, smiling brightly as he handed out mugs. You accepted yours with a numb smile, barely tasting the warm liquid as your mind spun. Not the only one? Did that mean what you thought it meant? Over the next few days, things got more complicated. Every moment with Midoriya felt charged. Every smile he gave you made your heart flutter, but you started to notice Todoroki watching you. Not just watching, but looking. Like really looking, and sometimes when you caught him, he didn't bother to look away. You told yourself you were just imagining it, that Todoroki was just quiet and observant and stoic like usual. Until the day of the rescue simulation. Your team had gotten split. You and Todoroki ended up searching in the west wing of the mock disaster center. We're supposed to be finding a hostage, you remind him, flashlight beam scanning the rubble. I know, he said, but I also wish to talk to you. You hesitated. About what? He paused. I meant about the other night, he said plainly, your throat tightened. I like you, YN. His voice was calm, but there was something more in his eyes that was more than raw, something that you'd never seen from him. I didn't mean to make things awkward. I just wanted you to know. Todoroki, You stopped yourself. You really had no idea what to say. You liked Midoriya. Really, you did. But you also carried yourself with more pride, and you really did care about Todoroki. He was kind in his own way. He was protective and steady and just a good person. I'm sorry, you whispered. He nodded like he'd expected that answer. Then he surprised you. You don't have to decide anything right now. I just didn't want to lie about it. The simulation ended not long after. Your team had passed to flying colors, but your mind was far, far from victory. Back in the dorms, Midoriya found you in the hallway. Hey, I wanted to ask you something. You glanced up, nerves buzzing. Huh? Oh, what's up? His hands fidgeted at his sides. Would you, maybe want to hang out tomorrow? Just us. Before you could even answer, Todoroki passed. He was nodding at both of you, eyes lingering just a moment longer than they needed to be. Midoriya noticed. You saw the realization dawn on his face like a light bulb turning on, followed by a flash of confusion, then something else. Something that looked a lot like determination. YN, he said, his voice quieted now. Is there something going on between you and Todoroki? You froze, and just like that, the love triangle was no longer a secret. Midoriya's question hung in the air. It was taut as a tripwire. You stared at him, every word in your brain jumbled into meaningless fractions. Your heart pounded so loud that you could barely hear anything else. You stammered. It's not like that. I mean, it's complicated, you know? Midoriya looked at you, eyes wide with concern. Complicated? How? You hesitated, looking away. Todoroki, he told me he likes me a couple days ago during the simulation. His expression didn't change at first, but you saw that slight clench in his jaw when the nervous flick of his fingers flicked. Oh. I didn't mean for this to happen, he rushed to say. I didn't mean for any of it to happen. I didn't even know any of you were feeling that way, and I didn't know he was feeling that way, and now you're asking me out, and I like you too, YN, he said softly, but it stopped your heart cold. You met his gaze, eyes full of that same earnest intensity they always carried, during training, during battle, during every moment he tried to do what was right. Except now, that was turning on you. And it felt like being seen down to your bones when he focused on you. I've liked you for a while, he continued, swallowing hard. I just didn't know when to say it, and I didn't know if he would ever feel the same way. Your mouth opened and you had nothing. No words, no explanations, just the weight of two confessions crashing down on your chest. I don't want to pressure you, Midoriya said quickly. It's okay if you need your time, I just had to be honest. He nodded slowly, the ground feeling unsteady beneath your feet. I do need time. He gave a small, almost sad smile. Okay. Take all the time you need. You walked away, feeling like your heart was leaving a piece of it behind with every step. The next day, the entire squad went on the city for a, quote, casual bonding day. An idea of Ida, of course. The plan was simple. Split up, get snacks, maybe catch a movie. Easy, relaxing, chill, fun. Exactly what you needed. Except it wasn't. Todoroki stood next to you while Midoriya lingered nearby, eyes darting your way more often than he probably realized. Uraraka seemed to notice as she kept glancing between all three of you like she could sense the awkward tension. Sue raised an eyebrow, but ultimately said nothing. You ended up walking beside Todoroki mostly because Midoriya had been dragged into conversation about support gear with Ida 2 stores back. You seem tense, Todoroki said simply. He laughed weakly. Yeah, understatement of the year. He paused, by the edge of the sidewalk waiting for the light to change. Did you tell him? Yeah, I did. He thought for a moment. And? You sighed. He, told me he likes me too. Todoroki didn't react for a second. Then he gave a soft exhale, almost like a chuckle without humor. I figured. I didn't ask for this, he said quietly. I don't want to hurt either of you. I know, he said. That's what makes this harder. You didn't know what to say to that, so you said nothing. The group ended up in an arcade after lunch. The tension eased slightly, everyone competing in their own chaotic dance battle. Machine. It had a way of clearing the air. Midoriya even managed to laugh when Uraraka completely destroyed him in a rhythm game. You let yourself out a little breath, but it didn't last. Midoriya approached you nearby. The claw machines later, hands stuffed into his hoodie pockets. Can we talk? You nodded. He led you outside away from the noise. The sun had started to drip, casting a golden light over the sidewalk. I'm sorry, he said, surprising you. Oh, for what? For, saying something, for making it a lot harder on you. You shook your head. No, you were honest, and Todoroki was too. I needed to hear it. He looked down. So, do you know how you feel? You were silent for a second, kind of contemplating your options. Your mouth went dry. I'm still figuring it out. He nodded. The disappointment in his eyes was hard to miss. Okay. There was a beat of silence before he waited. I'll wait how long it takes. I'll wait forever. Your chest ached. You don't have to. I want to, he said simply. Because you're worth it. He smiled, soft and a little sad as he walked back inside, leaving you with your swirling thoughts. You stayed quiet on the train ride back to the dorms. Uraraka nudged you gently at one point. You okay? She asked. You nodded, even though you weren't. Yeah, just tired. She stuck to you for a moment and gave your hand a quick squeeze. You don't have to pick right away. You know it's okay to not have all the answers. You offered her a weak smile. That night you found yourself sitting on the rooftops. Your knees were pulled up to your chest, staring at the stars. I thought I might find you here. Todoroki's voice came from behind you. You glanced over and he sat beside you, leaving a respectable amount of space between you both. I used to come up here a lot, he said. Before I didn't know who I was yet. He stayed quiet. I'm not good at this kind of thing, he continued. Feelings, talking, but I would like to try for you. You turned to him. Todoroki, you muttered. I'm not asking you to choose tonight. I just want you to know I meant what I said. You looked down, guilt, confusion tightening in your chest. I care about you. I do, and I care about him too, and I think that might be the problem. He nodded slowly, looking up at the stars. Then I guess we'll both have to wait. You leaned your head back against the cold metal railing, your heart in turmoil. 2 boys, 2 confessions, 1 tangled mess of feelings that you could not untangle under night. No matter what you did, or what path you chose, someone's heart would be broken. And you didn't know who. You didn't know when. But it was unavoidable.